The injury report day-to-day will be Cartier Rice, Kashyyyk Williams, Darian Miller. Kashyyyk has a hip strain, Miller has an ankle, just not a high ankle, but just a normal ankle sprain. Cartier has a thigh bruise. Doubtful will be Force, has a thigh bruise, and then out will be Gabe Corral. This is a really tough football team we're about to play. Florida's, there's four stats that I say that stick out. Their rushing offense, they're rushing for 232 yards per game. Their rushing defense, giving up just a little over 100 yards rushing. Their quarterbacks only threw, has thrown for 70% and no interceptions. Their tailback is leading the league in rushing, and then they're 3-0. So it's actually 5 stats. It's really impressive that these guys, really good team defense, running the football. Had only thrown the ball about 58 times, so you're talking about 20 times, right at 18, 19 times a game. So they're hanging their hats on the run. We have to do a better job of stopping the run, so it should be a big challenge for us. But also, we've got to possess the ball offensively. That's the one stat that if you look at, we've had the ball 24 minutes, and our opponents have had it 36. I mean, that's a stat that if we can just keep possession of the ball, we have done a good job of moving the ball and scoring points as long as we take care of the football. So those are the things that we have to do. Obviously we're going to have to stop the run as well as these guys to run the football, but we also got to continue to possess the ball.
Joe, talk about your 3 players signed for the pot in face the date of October 9th by UK Police.
Say it again.
Your 3 players who signed for.
Well, I mean, our guys, kids don't always do all the things right, and the thing we do is we hold our kids accountable, and we discipline right away. We don't wait. We try to get as many of the facts as we possibly can, and we got them on Friday, and we discipline right away.
When will they play again?
Ray will be reinstated this week. All 3 of them will be reinstated this week.
Coach, I know it was a tough loss the other night, but you felt it. But when you had a chance to go home and look at tape, to stuff that really satisfied you better,
well, I didn't go home and look at tape. Came back in the next morning and looked at tape.
Well,
no, I mean, there's some things that we did well. But again, the same things that were obvious to the naked eye during the game were some of the things that that you feel like that hurt you and didn't give you a chance to win the game late in the game. So, which was the turnovers, not getting ourselves off the field with defense, and we got to create turnovers also. And we have not been good at creating turnovers this year.
Why is that you think you haven't been able to create turnovers? Does your youth on defense have something to do with it?
I mean, I wouldn't blame it on youth. We got to tackle better. That has nothing to do with youth. I mean, we got to make sure that we wrap him up and the next guy in is stripping. So I mean, we hadn't been a real good game tackling football team. So the thing we have to do is make sure we tackle better, and the next guy in comes in and strips the ball. And I mean, we're allowing teams just to complete about 70% passing percentage on us. We don't have a lot of deflections of passes broken up. That's when you usually get a lot of interceptions and those type of things. When you're having passes broken up, we don't have a lot of them. So we got to do a better job in that area also.
Joker, I know that Louisville had 3 long drives, plus your offense has scored really quickly a few times. So how much does that actual stat on time of possession reflect what's actually going on the field? Do you have any idea?
I mean, it reflects a lot. I mean, it tells us a lot when you talk in terms of turnovers, okay, and not being able to possess the ball and have possession of it because you're turning the ball over, and then not getting yourself off the field. Also, last week they had 3 drives over 5 minutes, okay, and 3 of the quarters they had at 9 minutes. That's a tribute to both us offensively and defensively. Offensively, our average scoring drive was about 2 minutes. I think we might have one for 4, but we had scored in 22 seconds, a minute and 50, which gives them the ball back. We scored, I think the one was maybe 4 minutes. So that has a lot to do with it. And then turning it over, turning it over. It takes time of possession off of it. And then we got to get ourselves off the field defensively.
Joker, after you looked at the film, why was he so inaccurate, especially early on?
We got moved a little bit. One time he stared the guy down way too long. He needs to get off of that one. But moving a little bit here and there, and there wasn't a lot of pressure. I mean, our guys did a really good job, and that's the thing. We talked about how physical they were, but what I was talking about, we did not. You look at the Alabama game, had 6 sacks. Hey, our guys didn't give up. We really gave up 1 sack, and Max kind of moved into the guy. If he just stays where he's supposed to be, we don't give up a sack the whole game. It's 60-something attempts. And, Alabama gave up 6 sacks. They got 6 sacks and less than 25 pass attempts. So, the thing that Max has to do is make sure he understands, where he's supposed to be. And then when he moves out of the pocket, he's got to reset his feet and throw strikes, which is what he does when he's lined up the right way. And one of his interceptions happened when receiver turned outside, should have turned inside. So those things can occur. When they do occur, you have a bad play.
Joker, why do you feel like you deserve more time to get this thing going on? That's obviously a topic right now.
Well, I mean, we got 72 freshmen and sophomores in this program. We just played a team that has 50 juniors and seniors in the program, and I get that we got to be better than that. But we got a lot of good young players playing ball for us. Outside, the attendant, I said, this ought to be good. As I got out of the truck, he says, that's the exact same thing Rich said when we got beat by Ohio U. We had a lot of young teams back then. We got a lot of young players here. Again, 72 freshmen and sophomores. And a lot of them played significant roles. So, but that's not my job. Is to make sure we win football games. Continue doing the things that we need to do to win football games. And the first order of business is focusing on Florida.
You said the other night that you weren't worried about the team falling apart or whatever, even though you had a young team. But from a head coaching standpoint, what do you have to do to make sure that that doesn't happen? If you do,
well, we got to get them prepared. We got to prepare them for all the things that are involved when you are, when you're down a little bit. We got to get them prepared for this hostile environment we're about to go in. We got to continue to talk to our kids. This is the time that they need us the most as coaches, and we'll be there for them.
Joker, you were on a team that, when Lynn was here, there was a player. You were on 2 different staffs that were under flack. One of them survived. Has that helped you at all in this tough time?
Definitely, no doubt about that. Again, I was on an 0-10-1 team, and I was on a team that went in 2 years later, and we had a lot of young kids, and I was one of those young kids that in 2 years later we were 9-3, and one of the last teams to win nine games. And then staff here, same way. I was on the staff here. We had some ups and downs. We had a young team when we left, but we had 7 years. And I got that. That 7 years, but at the time we had a young team that we left behind. That 2 years later they were winning seven games again. We put together a young team. We did it the right way. There will not be any investigations and those type of things here. We've done it the right ways, and we'll continue to do it the right way. So again, good, solid young team that we've got to get better every day, and it starts by preparing for Florida.
Joker, I remember when you took over from Rich, you said one of the things a head coach has to learn is how to tune out the noise. How do you do that? How hard is that?
I mean, it's again, I don't have time. Okay, I told our staff yesterday that the players probably will hear it. We won't hear it. We'll be buried in the office. right? So it's just, we sense it, okay, but we don't get a chance to hear it because we're buried in there trying to prepare for the next opponent. And our next opponent is Florida.
We're talking about Florida with.
I hear it when I come in here.
What, Florida with Brent Peace, new offensive coordinator, are they doing things differently on offense? Do they look all scheme-wise or?
But they're running the football, they are, they tried the two quarterback system in the first game. They struggled a little bit, but they settled in on the one quarterback, the Driscoll kid, and they haven't had a lot of opportunities in passing, but when he does, he's been efficient, completing 70% of his passes. But they got an big experienced offensive line that they're putting it in their hands, and the tailback, who's been around for a long time. So he's playing it smart, by running the football, throwing high percentage passes, and playing great on defense. That's what they do.
Joker, you talked about there's so much youth and sort of needing time to watch them develop. What happened though? How did you get to this point where you have such a gap?
We got a lot of young kids in the program. You see them running around.
But why not any old kids?
For some reason or other, it just didn't work out.
Was it bad timing or bad recruiting, you think, Joker, or was it just bad
No,
luck?
because we got some really good kids in our upperclassmen. As an upperclassman, Larry Warford, you think that's bad recruiting?
No, I don't.
Matt Smith started 3 years here. Bad recruiting. We just don't have a lot of numbers in the senior and junior classes. We don't have 50. We have 72 in freshmen and sophomores.
I guess what I was trying to ask was why do you think that turned out like that?
For some reason or other, that's the way it is.
Part of the job of a head coach is to set a tone. Privately, though, are you at all discouraged?
Privately,
I mean, within your, you're not showing it to the public, but how do you channel all this?
Built for this. We just talked about it. I'm built for this. I was 10-1. Okay, all we talked about is that stay together. We'll get a turn. Stay together. 6-6, 9-3. Hey, I've been around some head coaches that I've got a chance to watch go through this, and we're fine. I'm fine.
Do you worry that you won't have enough time?
Don't worry. I ain't got time to worry. My worry is making sure we get prepared for Florida.
When you go back to that, like you talked about that 0-10-1 year, and there was guys on that team that you, like 2 years later, Bill Ransel, guys like that.
Bill Ransel was a freshman.
Who turned out to be leaders who led you out of that. But do you see guys in your freshman and sophomore classes?
No doubt, no doubt. Bill was the first, one of the guys that he was redshirted, so he wasn't on actively playing, but he got a chance to experience it with us. I see a talented freshman, sophomore quarterback, some really talented receivers, young receivers, some talented backs. We got some guys that will be real good leaders. We got some good leaders in this senior class. Avery Williamson. He asked me, "How you doing, Coach?" "I'm fine. How are you doing, Avery?" He said, "Coach, we'll be fine. We just got to hang in there and stay." He said this. So we got some really good leaders on this football team.
When you talk about having so many young players, you have a loss like this, do you find yourself having to do something differently to get them past that loss?
We're going to do one thing different. For some reason or another, we have started off really slow. And then we battle our tails off, which says a lot for our team to fight back. And so we're going to try one thing different. We're going to stretch. We're going to do a 10-minute individual, and we're going to get right into an 11-on-11 period. Just try to, and explain to our kids, here's the reason why. We want to start fast. We've got to start faster. Okay? We can't wait and see what the tone of the game is. We've got to start fast right away.
Joker, where does Sanders come back on the depth chart? Is bringing guys back after the next game? Is that just standard procedures and individual case by case?
Well, the way that you guys got a chance to talk to John today, the way he played, I mean, he deserves to be the starter. Because she, is banged up. Will probably won't practice until Thursday, so I think John deserves to be the starter, and if she can't go, Raymond will be the third stringer.
And is that the standard when you have to suspend?
Well, we don't have a standard. The thing we have to look at is how well a guy performed. They came in and replaced him. How well did the guy perform? The guy that takes care of business all the time, does what he's supposed to do, never hears his name on any list, going to class and all those things. How well did he perform? And Jonathan George performed well enough to be the starter.
Trevor, you talked about your young guys. A lot of them made plays on that drive at the end of the first half and at the end of the game. What does that tell you about the way they're coming along?
Says a lot. You get a sophomore quarterback going to a redshirt freshman receiver that goes up over and makes a huge play for us. Actually, DeMarco Robinson, another true sophomore, that made a few plays to get us to midfield. And then Sweat. The problem with Sweat, we're not getting it in his hands enough. He's touched it 8 times this year. He's got 2 touchdowns. He's had some huge returns for us in the kicking game. The thing we have to do is get the ball in his hands more, and he too. We'll try to work him into a starting role soon. Okay, and maybe even this week. We'll rotate him with the ones and see how he handles it, and he could possibly be a starter this week. Because every week you say we got a plan, and you get in the game, and after the game he's only played 11 plays. Played 11 plays, touched it twice on offense, and one of them was a huge touchdown for us. So the easiest way to play him is to start him. Okay? So we'll look at that, see how that looks at the end of the week, and make that decision going into the game.
Trevor, since you've been back, you've made strides. You've either beaten or played competitively every team in the SEC. Florida seems to be the one that you haven't been able to gain much traction against. Any common denominator or reason why do you see?
No, again, we 07 were close. Okay, just couldn't finish. Just one of our good teams that we had around here, and probably the closest we've been to them. But there's not anything that I could put my finger on why we haven't had a chance. We just haven't.
Florida's outscored you 94-3 in the last week.
Anyway, you had to remind me.
What can account for that?
Gosh dang, I thought you was going to be the one in here that would take care of it. No, 90 what?
94-3.
Yeah, wow. That's the answer to your question, Matt.
Joker, preparing for Florida, they're not spraying the ball over the field.
Was that a question, or you just trying to remind me?
What can account for that?
We didn't score points, I can tell you that. We didn't get them stopped.
Preparing for a Florida team that is not spraying the ball over the field and is relying on a running game and defense, how odd is that given with the way they play?
It is odd, because they're usually a team that spreads you out and try to get you playing space and out-athlete you. And this is a team that, when they spread you out, they're going to try to run the ball and create running lanes. So we've got, and we'll get into some 2-back stuff that we have to pack the box. We have to get as many people in the box as we possibly can to try to stop the run, because that's what they are. They're a team that likes to run the football, stop the run, play great defense.
Is that going to be, stopping the run, is that just going to be a year-long battle, or do you feel like you've got the necessary things to do a much better job?
Year-long battle? I think it's a lifetime. Every time you play in this game, what are we doing for? 300 and we're over 300 yards before. We're number 1 in the league in passing. I'd much rather be rushing for 300 yards. Sure. I'd much rather be. Okay, we're rushing for right out 100 yards, 115 yards. Again, everybody tell you that running the football is how you, again, possess the ball. Running the football is how you eat the clock, and also how you grind out first downs. We have not. That would be the one thing if we could do better this week would be run the football. Well, I'll continue to throw it the way we're throwing it.
But I mean, what about stopping the run?
We
Is
got
that
to
what
stop
I'm
it.
asking?
That's going to
Can
be.
you do a better job, or is it just going to be?
We got to
something you're
tackle
fighting
better.
against?
We got to tackle better. You know, we have guys in holes sometimes that when they do get off blocks, have a chance to make a tackle, and we don't get the guy on the ground. So we definitely got to do a better job of tackling.
Special teams has been one of the problems in recent times, and block punts.
Thought he would take care of it too. I said, we're playing really good on special
I
teams.
just want to
Lonnie. Let's talk about starting deposit. How well are we playing on special teams?
Well, right.
Jen, you know,
You have
when we talk
way
about
more
Florida.
return yards than you did last year.
no doubt. We average what, 1 yard a return? 1.8.
I'm talking about blocks, punts, and kicks and things like this. What's killing us in Florida? And I was wondering, what do you do to turn that?
I like what you said. You said us. Yeah, I like that.
I live in Kentucky.
Good. I like that. It has, Lonnie. You know, we've got to. It has hurt
Been here all
us.
my life, Mike.
It has hurt us, and we got to do a better job of protecting our punter, and then, getting them on the ground when we do punt it to them. Okay, it's been one of the things we haven't done well, but we've done it well this year. That's the thing. You know, we missed a punt Saturday, and they got a big return on us. But this guy's a really good punter. We just got to make sure he's punting in the right direction, so we will have our coverage connected with the punt.
With all the talk of all the bad stuff going on, how much, take care of you right here,
Yeah.
how much would a win in a game like Saturday quick turn everything around like that? I mean, does it just change everything?
I don't know if it turns around everything just like that, but it definitely helps with momentum because we're getting ready to go into a tough SEC grind, so it would definitely help in gaining momentum. I don't think there's anything that's a quick fix.
Sounds like a good question to end
No,
on.
this player, Caffey, I mean, he was already kind of in the doghouse for academic issues. How many strikes?
We don't have a doghouse. We got a cat doghouse, but doghouse. How many strikes? You know, the thing that we want to do is, we're in the business of making sure the kids have an opportunity to succeed. Definitely, we're not a center that we're on rehab center or a center that we're going to continue to give guys chances. We love Marcus, and this is a lot of us. This is all we got. Okay, this is all we got. We'll go with him until we feel like we can't take it anymore. We've done that with other kids, but this is all he has, and we'll continue to stick by him and help him get through all these things.
Hopefully we'll see you tomorrow.